Hello. I have just made the tragic realization that I just filmed this video, but I wasn't actually filming. So, if some of the answers to these questions sound a little bit rehearsed, that's because I literally just answered them and I wasn't recording. So, whoop-de-doo. Anyway, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be doing the Booktube Newbie Tag 2.0. Woohoo! So this tag was originally created by Michael SD. I believe the original video is no longer on YouTube, but I want to give credit where credit is due. So let's get started. So the first question is going to be, what genres would you like to see talked more about on Booktube? I definitely feel like most of the genres that I really like reading are pretty well represented. Sci-fi and fantasy for sure is potentially overrepresented on Booktube. And literary fiction, I feel like I've seen a fair amount of content about that. Memoirs, I haven't seen a whole lot of content, so maybe like a little bit more like memoir. I guess nonfiction, I'm just not a big fan of nonfiction. The only way you can get me to read about real events is if you package it as a memoir. I feel like because that's close enough to like fiction for me, like there's enough creative license, enough like moving events around to make it into like a more coherent and thought out plot, you know? I don't even remember where I started that sentence. Editing me is gonna be so upset about what I'm filming right now. What I'm saying about memoirs is that it's similar enough to fiction that I'm able to consume it and not feel like I'm reading nonfiction. But back to the question at hand, what genres would you like to see talked more about on Booktube? Yeah, I feel like all of my favorite genres are well represented, but I will say that some of the genres that have recently started to get more represented in Booktube, like romance in particular, I feel like I would love to see more of that. And I personally would like to read more romance. I feel like I fell into the category of like not like other girls in high school in particular and was like, ew, romance, like that's not real like literature or whatever. Obviously like that is very problematic and I no longer feel that way, but I feel like it ended up like closing me out from a lot of really great books. Like I was definitely like anti-Twilight, very anti-Twilight, like almost made it a part of my personality how anti-Twilight I was. So I would now like to be more open to reading some more romance. Particularly there's a lot more like really diverse romance that's coming out right now. And I see all of my favorite booktubers like reading arcs of it and I'm just like, oh man, I want to get my hands on it. So as soon as like a lot of the ones from 2021 come out, I would like to read them and hopefully make some content about them. All right, wow, that was a super long answer already to the first question. The second question is, what do you feel is the best way or ways to make friends on Booktube? So the way that I currently find most booktubers is through Twitter, which would be good, except for Twitter is where a lot of the booktube drama goes down, which is a little disappointing because I'll like find out about new booktubers, but it'll be because of some drama or other, like booktube is too focused on consumerism or like, you know, like the drama. If you have any sort of like association with book Twitter, you are aware. All right, the third question is, what do you enjoy the most about making booktube videos? Definitely the filming and the editing. I love filming and editing. I've done it since I was like a teenager. I loved it so much that I would like make a bunch of like fake music videos with my sisters. I would like make short films with my sisters and my cousins. Like we would have so much fun during the summer just like filming stuff, and then I would just like sit down and edit it and like make my family watch it. Thank you, by the way, everyone who I forced to like watch my stuff. Now I'm promoting my YouTube content, so I guess nothing has really changed, but I didn't have as much time like in high school or college to really like keep up with it. So now that we're in the middle of a pandemic, I find myself with time to fill, and it's just a really cool opportunity to like reconnect with a hobby that I really enjoyed as a child. All right, number 4. What do you least look forward to when making booktube videos? I don't know where that weird accent came from. Definitely the promo. Like, I feel like I put in the bare minimum. Like, I share it on my Instagram, I like tweet about it, and that's sort of it. Like, I feel like I need to definitely like work on thumbnails. I'm really not good at it. Like, I am not very artistically minded in that way. And I also feel like I need to, like, the titles aren't necessarily like as like search engine friendly as they could be. So that's definitely something that I don't look forward to having to learn how to do. All right, number 5. What videos other than tags, TBRs, wrap-ups, reviews, and recommendations would you want to see more of? Definitely like reading vlogs, like any sort of more vloggy content. Like I feel like Read with Cindy does really great, like she'll do like a cooking video where she also talks about books. Especially lately she's done like travel vlogs, like pandemic safe travel vlogs, where she'll like rent an Airbnb and then like sort of live the life of a character in a book she's reading. That is super cool. Like content like that is just super creative and I would love to see more of that. Personally, I might try to do some like reading vlogs, but they're definitely a lot more like labor intensive, like the filming and like sifting through like maybe a week's worth of footage to try to put together a video. But you know, a nice challenge if I find myself with enough time to meet that challenge. All right, number 6. What are some themes you want to see more or less of in books? More themes, definitely queer themes, especially in adult fiction, or at least in like the adult fiction that gets talked about. I feel like definitely young adult and new adult fiction does a really, and even middle grade fiction now, does a really great job of tackling queer themes. Definitely more than when I was a teen and like middle schooler, but I still feel like there's a gap between that and like adult fiction books focusing on queer themes. Potentially because like the coming out narrative is more marketable than like just like queer people living their life, but I don't know. I'm not like in publishing, but I would definitely like to see more of that. What I would like to see less of is gratuitous violence in books. The one that comes to mind is I read the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires last year, which overall I loved. Like I thought it was a great book, but what I didn't love was a very gratuitous sexual assault at the end of the book that I feel like was really like just a lazy way of like wrapping up the plot. I was like, it made me very uncomfortable, especially because it was a man writing it. And there was a scene prior to that that was sort of more of like a mutually pleasurable sexual encounter between like the person who would later perpetrate the sexual assault. Both of the characters involved were members of this book club, but one was like a supporting character and one was the main character, and it just felt very like, oh, we need to like move the plot along, so let's have this other character who doesn't have protagonist armor like get sexually assaulted. It was incredibly uncomfortable to read. I just would like to see less of that. Please. Number 7, what are some of your booktube goals? I don't really have any. I'm trying to keep this fast and loose because goals sometimes end up being opportunities for me to feel worse about myself because I'll like set these lofty goals and then like not give myself the resources to achieve them. And then I'm like, wow, I feel so bad that I didn't achieve this goal. So I'm gonna try this radical new approach where I just don't set goals and I just sort of go by feel. So if I feel like filming a video, I will film a video. So that will probably lead to some inconsistent uploading, but I still feel like that is better if it means that I'm like taking better care of myself. All right. Number 8, what advice would you give to a booktuber that has just created their channel? Considering this is my 3rd video, I feel like I don't really have much room to give advice. Well, what I will say is if you just created your channel, I'd love to chat. I think that would be really cool. So if you want to like leave a comment, wow, I feel so YouTuber-y right now. But yeah, just like reach out via Twitter, YouTube, that'd be awesome. All right, number 9, what are some qualities or traits that you look for when it comes to watching other booktubers? Definitely, I feel like it's more personality based than it is based on what books they're recommending. My 2 favorite booktubers, Read with Cindy and Paperback Dreams, I don't necessarily follow all of their recommendations. Like, I mean, Paperback Dreams mainly likes thrillers and I am a huge scaredy cat, so yeah. But I just love her energy in her videos. She's super passionate, she's super chaotic. It's great. And then like with Read with Cindy, she's just so creative in her content and she always just brings 100% of herself in every video, I feel like. And she just, like some of her stuff is just so funny. She has a great sense of humor. One of my particular favorite videos of hers is her like sort of meme review of Kissing the Coronavirus, where she like takes it seriously and she's like, this is why it's a metaphor for our current handling of the coronavirus. It's comedy gold. I highly recommend watching it. But yeah, so it's definitely more about like if I vibe with the creator than their like recommendations, I would say. Number 10, what is a fun fact about you or a hobby besides reading and writing that people on Booktube might not know you have? Again, considering this is my 3rd video, I feel like there's a lot that you don't know about me. So I guess picking a hobby at random, I've recently gotten into video games more. I'm a hashtag gamer girl, not really. Anyway, my fiance introduced me to a lot of really cool like indie games back in early 2020. Honestly, before the pandemic hit. And then after the pandemic, we were like, wow, we have all this time to like play video games now. Let's like get into them. So like Don't Starve has been a particular favorite. Stardew Valley. It's just super fun. Like my fiance said, like, it's really hard to be sad while playing Stardew, and I 100% agree. Like I'll be like super emo and I'll just be like, oh, I don't want to do anything. And then I'll be like, okay, maybe I should like play Stardew, and it'll lift my mood. It's a mood boost, if you will. And yeah, it's just really fun to like vibe with the townspeople and just like go mining and go fishing and take care of my cat and my chickens. It's really nice. All right, number 11, which booktubers do you tag? I tag whoever wants to be tagged. I am very new to the booktube community, so I don't know that many other booktubers, particularly other booktubers who would want to do a Booktube Newbie Tag. But yeah, if you want to be tagged, you're tagged. I dub thee tagged. All right, those are all the questions. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.